Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are marshmallow cherry peanut butter cookie bars. Now, if you don't like using the cherry flavored morsels, you can go ahead and put chocolate chips. And the chocolate chips and the marshmallow peanut butter, well, they come out delicious too. So let's get started. What I've done is I've cut up a half a cup of butter, and I've had it at room temperature. Cut it up in small pieces because I think it's much easier to cream and break up. And you can also use your stand-up mixer as I am, or your hand mixer to do this recipe. And I'll just take a second or two to break up that butter. You're also going to be putting in a quarter cup of granulated sugar into your butter. And you just want to beat that together till it's combined. You're going to be putting in a quarter cup of brown sugar in with that. And I'm just going to, bring it together, raise my speed a little bit. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a half a cup of peanut butter. This is the creamy that I'm using. You can use whatever brand that you prefer, that you like. And that was a half a cup. Let me get that all out of there. Okay. And now we'll just cream the butters, the sugar, and the peanut butter together. Next we're going to do is we're going to put in 1 egg, and I've had this egg also at room temperature, so we'll beat that in until it's, combined. We're also going to be putting in vanilla, so you're going to need a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm just going to clean the sides of my mixing bowl here and get to the bottom a little bit here. And it needs to be beaten just a little bit more. So we'll do that. All right. The next thing you're going to be putting in is all-purpose flour, and you're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'll just put a little in at a time. There we go. You're going to be putting in baking soda, and you're going to need a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to stay with it till it becomes, a cookie batter. Okay. And I'll show you what I have. I just want to get to the bottom here just a little bit first. Okay. And now you have the cookie batter. It's very fluffy, very light. You can really smell that peanut butter. Yeah, it smells so good. All right, the next thing that we're going to be putting in are your morsels. And again, we're going to be using a cup of these. I'm using cherry flavored right now. You can use the unflavored colored morsels also. And as I mentioned, you can use the milk chocolate or the semi-sweet morsels if you want. And I'm going to put those in. Whoops, got to raise that bowl. And I'm going to just mix those in quickly. I don't want to break up the morsels, so I just want to get them blended. And I'm going to take my paddle out of here, get my excess cookie batter off of here. Okay. There we go. And we'll set that aside. All right. And I'll just bring it all together here with my spatula and make sure that those little morsels are all pretty well combined and evenly distributed. And that's what they'll look like. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take an 8x8 pan. I've lightly greased it. And I'm going to take out about a half and just put that into the 8 by 8, and then just with a knife I'm going to start to spread it as evenly as I can on the bottom of the pan. A little bit more here. And just, you know, even it out as best as you can. Spread it out. Bring it right up to the sides. And just, you know, just keep pulling it and stretching the cookie dough here into your pan. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the more you even it out, the better off you are. Okay, now we're going to use just a little bit more here, I think. I didn't have, whoops, quite half there, because it wasn't covering the bottom as evenly as I wanted it to. So what's nice is if you take a little too much out, you can just take some out and put it back into your mixing bowl. Here, we'll take a little bit out of there back. Okay. All right. So all I've done is just taken it, and as you see, I've evenly pressed it into the bottom. Okay. Next off, you're going to need some mini marshmallows, and I can use usually a cup and a quarter, sometimes a cup and a half. You know, be the judge of that. And then just take the marshmallows, and I like to just sprinkle them on top like that, and just try to even them out. Put them in places where there's gaps. You don't want to over topple them, you know, one on top of the other. You really just want to put them in, you know, fill it all in, but don't double them. And like I said, you might need, you know, at least 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 cups of these. And I just like to fill in the spaces so that all the cookies, when this bar bakes in the oven, the marshmallow, you know, is evenly distributed on the bars. So I just make sure that they're all in there. Okay, and I just had a few extra. And it will look like this. And then I just take my hands and then lightly press them into the cookie dough a little bit so they won't move around, because what we're going to do next is we're going to take the rest of the cookie batter and we're going to spread it on top. So that's why you need the marshmallows to sink into the cookie dough a little bit, so you're going to be able to do that. You don't have to push them too far, but just lightly enough that, you know, they're not going to move around like that. And then take the rest of your cookie dough and place it on top of the marshmallows. Okay, let me get the excess off here. And then you just start spreading that on top of your marshmallows. And you can see why I pressed them in, because it would be really difficult if I didn't. Okay, let's get this a little bit more out here to start covering it. And the same thing, get to your edges of your pan and try to smooth it out as evenly as you can, and to cover up all the marshmallows that you don't see the marshmallows. And just spread that batter out, that cookie dough batter, over your marshmallows. Alright, I have a little bit more left, so I want to definitely use it up and get it all out of that mixing bowl. There we go. And just even it out. and that you don't see those marshmallows underneath there. Okay, I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a sec here. Okay, like that. Okay, you're going to put this in a 375-degree oven, and it could take you anywhere from 25 minutes to a good 35 minutes to bake up, depending on your oven. So I like to start to check mine, at 22 minutes or so, that type of thing, and you'll pretty well know if this cookie bars are cooked if they don't jiggle. When you check the pan a little bit, take a cake tester or a toothpick and check it, that type of thing. You don't want to over bake it, but you want to make sure though that they're baked all the way through. So again, it could take you a little longer than that 25 minutes to bake up. I want to rinse my hands quickly here because I had raw eggs. And I don't want that to get on the cookie bars, because I do want to show you what they look like once they are done. And this is how they come out. They really come up very tall and very large. Of course, you can cut them in whatever sizes that you like. I like to actually cut them in, here, let me get that out of the way, really large pieces like that. And it's optional. What I did was I took the cherry morsels and I melted them in a bowl with a little bit of shortening, and then I just drizzled the tops of the bars to make them look pretty and give it a little bit of a finishing touch on it. And then you'll be able to see this moist cookie bar with the marshmallows that have been melted in with the peanut butter. Oh, these are the greatest tasting little cookie bars. Give this recipe a try. If you do and you like it, leave a comment, because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake.